Stressful periods are unavoidable. Financial pressure, work overload, family responsibilities, uncertainty about the future, global events, or personal crises can all activate the body's stress response. Short-term stress is not inherently harmful. In fact, it is a survival mechanism. When you face a challenge, your body releases hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline, increasing heart rate, sharpening focus, and mobilizing energy. This response is useful in brief situations. The problem arises when stress becomes chronic. Long-term activation of the stress response disrupts sleep, weakens immunity, impairs digestion, increases inflammation, and raises the risk of heart disease, anxiety, and depression. Staying healthy during stressful times is not about eliminating stress completely. It is about managing its biological impact and maintaining protective habits. The first secret is protecting sleep at all costs. Stress often disrupts sleep because elevated cortisol levels interfere with melatonin production. However, sleep is the body's most powerful recovery tool. During deep sleep, the brain clears metabolic waste, tissues repair, and immune cells regenerate. Chronic sleep deprivation increases inflammatory markers and reduces immune defense. To protect sleep during stressful periods, maintain a consistent bedtime and wake time, even on weekends. Limit exposure to news or emotionally charged content close to bedtime. Avoid caffeine late in the day. Create a wind-down routine that signals safety to the nervous system, such as reading, stretching, or slow breathing. Even if stress makes falling asleep harder, consistency trains the circadian rhythm over time. The second principle is stabilizing blood sugar. Under stress, the body releases cortisol, which increases blood glucose to provide quick energy. If this is combined with high sugar or highly processed foods, blood sugar spikes become more dramatic, leading to crashes that worsen fatigue and irritability. During stressful times, people often crave comfort foods, but relying heavily on refined carbohydrates can amplify mood swings. Balanced meals that include protein, fiber, and healthy fats reduce glucose fluctuations and improve emotional stability. For example, pairing carbohydrates with protein slows absorption and prevents rapid spikes. Stable blood sugar supports stable mood and clearer thinking. Regular movement is another essential protective factor. Exercise reduces stress hormones and increases endorphins, dopamine, and serotonin, which enhance mood and resilience. It also improves cardiovascular health and immune function. Importantly, the exercise does not need to be intense. Moderate activities such as walking, cycling, yoga, or bodyweight training for 20 to 40 minutes most days of the week are sufficient. During extremely stressful periods, excessive high-intensity exercise without recovery may increase fatigue, so balance is important. Movement also improves sleep quality, which further strengthens stress resilience. Breathing and nervous system regulation play a critical role. Stress activates the sympathetic nervous system, often called the fight-or-flight response. When this system stays constantly active, heart rate remains elevated, digestion slows, and muscles stay tense. Intentional breathing techniques can shift the body into parasympathetic mode, sometimes referred to as rest and digest. Slow breathing, especially with longer exhales than inhales, signals safety to the brain. For example, inhaling for 4 seconds and exhaling for 6 seconds for several minutes can reduce heart rate and calm the stress response. Practicing this daily builds resilience over time. Social connection is another powerful buffer against stress. Humans are biologically wired for connection. Supportive relationships reduce cortisol levels and improve immune response. Studies consistently show that loneliness is associated with increased inflammation and higher mortality risk. During stressful periods, it may feel tempting to withdraw, but maintaining contact with trusted friends or family members improves emotional processing and provides perspective. Even short conversations can reduce the intensity of stress. Nutrition quality becomes especially important under chronic stress. Stress increases the body's demand for certain nutrients, including magnesium and B vitamins, which are involved in energy metabolism and nervous system regulation. Diets rich in vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, and lean proteins provide these nutrients naturally. Omega-3 fatty acids from fatty fish support anti-inflammatory pathways and brain health. Highly processed foods, excessive sugar, and excessive alcohol can increase inflammation and worsen anxiety. Alcohol in particular may temporarily reduce tension, but disrupts sleep and impairs mood regulation the following day. Hydration should not be overlooked. Mild dehydration can increase cortisol levels and impair cognitive function. Stressful times often lead to irregular eating and drinking patterns. Keeping water accessible and drinking consistently throughout the day supports circulation, temperature regulation, and concentration. Another key factor is setting boundaries with information consumption. Constant exposure to negative news or social media during stressful global or personal events can maintain the stress response even when no immediate action is required. Limiting media exposure to specific times of the day prevents mental overload. Psychological stress activates the same physiological pathways as physical danger, so mental triggers must be managed intentionally. Time management and realistic goal setting also reduce stress load. When tasks feel overwhelming, breaking them into smaller, manageable steps reduces cognitive strain. The brain responds positively to completion, releasing dopamine, which enhances motivation. Writing down priorities and focusing on one task at a time prevents mental fragmentation. Maintaining routine creates psychological stability. During uncertainty, predictable daily habits provide a sense of control. Simple routines such as consistent mealtimes, scheduled exercise, or morning sunlight exposure reinforce circadian rhythms and reduce chaos. The brain interprets routine as safety. Another important nuance is recognizing the difference between stress and anxiety disorders. Occasional stress is normal. However, if symptoms such as persistent insomnia, panic attacks, constant worry, or physical symptoms like chest pain occur, professional evaluation is important. Mental health support is a legitimate and effective part of staying healthy. Mindset plays a role as well. While toxic positivity is unhelpful, cognitive reframing can reduce stress intensity. Viewing challenges as temporary or solvable rather than permanent threats reduces physiological stress activation. Gratitude practices, even small ones such as writing down 3 positive events daily, have been associated with improved emotional well-being. Sunlight exposure supports both mood and immune health. Natural light regulates circadian rhythms and promotes vitamin D synthesis. Low vitamin D levels are associated with impaired immune function and mood disturbances. Spending time outdoors, even briefly, provides measurable benefits. Avoiding harmful coping mechanisms is critical. Smoking, excessive alcohol use, emotional overeating, and social isolation may provide short-term relief, but worsen physical and mental health long-term. Substituting healthier coping strategies gradually reduces reliance on these behaviors. Finally, self-compassion is essential. During stressful times, productivity may decrease. The body prioritizes survival over peak performance. Accepting temporary limitations reduces internal pressure, which itself is a form of stress. Staying healthy during stressful times is not about achieving perfection. It is about protecting the foundations: sleep, nutrition, hydration, movement, connection, and nervous system regulation. Chronic stress cannot always be avoided, but its impact can be reduced significantly through consistent daily habits. When these protective systems are in place, the body and mind remain more resilient, immune defenses stay stronger, and long-term health risks decrease. Stress may be inevitable, but decline is not. With intentional strategies, it is possible to remain physically and mentally strong even in the most challenging periods.